Beware, Gambian people. Beware. They are going to destabilize that country. You don't want that. They are bringing chaos and confusion. They are saying they are giving a middle finger to the law of that land, which is the Constitution. They're trying to bypass all that to corrupt your MPs and try to get in the head of the president. Beware, Gambian people. Beware.
Let's change the Constitution. This can be done via a private member's bill. We do not want to be discriminated against anymore. When we come back, we do not want to be seen as outsiders anymore. We were outsiders over there. We do not need to be outsiders here.
So to come home and to have to face a similar kind of discrimination is also harsh. So that's the reason why we've been appealing and campaigning.
All the racism and discrimination that I faced. Yeah, we all damaged. Don't get me wrong. I'm damaged. I've got my own poison to deal with. Well, we are Gambians in the diaspora, but we're not recognised as your aid state. This is discrimination. It's highly discriminatory. But our investment needs to be secure. And citizenship offers security. That's what everybody's not missing. You can sit there and everybody can sit there, but you're not sitting in our fragility. You're not sitting in our insecurity. You're not sitting in our fear. We had to do 3 jobs to survive. We had to keep ourselves warm. We lived in the cold. Bill after bill after bill after bill after tax after tax after tax. Do you know how long we've had to wait to get out? Do you know how hard it is for us to get out? Do you know how many of us can't even get out because we can't afford to? We don't have the money you think you have when you go to England. It doesn't work like that. We sold our 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. I sold my Range Rover, my Mercedes convertible, you know, and loads of other investments. I divested them to come here. So that huge amount of money that I sold would come here. I have other investments I haven't divested because of the fact of the insecurity of the citizenship situation. I wouldn't swap a 5-bedroom beautiful house, my Range Rover, my Mercedes convertible that I sold to come here. We came here just like everybody else as heritage tourists, and heritage tourism is what really binds us to Africa. You're telling us we can only own our land for 30 years? Are you telling me I can't? Where's my land going to go? Where's my money going to go? Where's my inward investment going to go? I don't know what kind of system this is. I don't know how it works for us. We're in big trouble because if we're building our homes and after 30 years we have to go and give our homes after 30 years to a Gambian, would you do that? Please. This is not fair on us. We're black. We're black, we're Africans, we are Gambians. Understand this. We shouldn't be here talking about this. We shouldn't have to beg.
Now you guys see why she wants that citizenship. It's for her own personal interest. That's what it is.
How do you trace your roots? Because we know during the slave trade, not all slaves were taken from the Gambia. They were slaves from different parts of Africa.
In fact, where you come from is an actual feeling. This is the wrong attitude, and it's a very neo-colonial attitude, and it's a very unwelcoming attitude, because you're not looking at the inward investment. What you're looking at is treating us as though we're foreigners, which we're not. You can trace your family surname down to the village or the country or the island that you come from. So we're able to trace where the ship debarked from. And in our case, the ship debarked from Gambia. So we can only assume that the people came from the Gambia. I don't know where I come from in Africa. I just know that my soul felt connected here in Gambia. And that's why we're here. But I couldn't tell you where I'm from.
So Gambia is actually my ancestral home.
Okay.
And that was through that information being passed down through my grandmother. So I knew that Gambia was my home, but I didn't know that Gambia was Gambia. We was at a taxi stand, and there was a man who looked exactly like my grandma, like my grandma's family, like my grandma's brother. So I asked him, and I said to him, it's weird because My grandmother told me that I'm from a place called Cambia, not Gambia, but I haven't been able to find it. And he said, no, I'm Mandinka. And so we pronounce it Cambia and not Gambia. I just don't like lies. I just don't like people just telling lies, you know. My foreparents are Gambians. We were just taken in slavery. So we are still Gambians. We were still taken from these shores. And so Gambian blood is still here. My great-great-grandparents are Gambian. And no one can tell me I'm not a Gambian. I have Gambian DNA. There's an exclusive on your show. I'll let everybody know my first husband was Gambian. I just don't like lies. I just don't like people just telling lies, you know.
She's no longer Jamaican. She was married to a Gambian and her DNA was altered, if you know what I mean. This woman is delusional.
My husband, please say your piece.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Mugabe.
I don't think that Gambian DNA part sat well with him. It's like, really? Did you have to talk about receiving a Gambian DNA from earlier? Come on now. You didn't have to disclose that information here. It's my first time even hearing about this one. Amazing.
We don't know where we're from, but we know where we want to come back to, and that's the motherland.
Juliet, why don't you tell us? Why are you thinking to change their constitution to fit you? Why? This is the question we should be asking.
Listen, your former Prime Minister, and I'm going to say it, had the Roots Festival. I don't like to talk about politics, but I'm going to just go there right now. We were given automatic citizenship at the Roots Festival. Don't tell me it can't be done.
The president's plan was to give out 300,000 fraudulent voting cards to foreigners. This many foreign votes would be more than enough to sway the election in a country of under 900,000 registered voters.
I can say I'm better than anyone you would ever have in this country.
In the end, he managed 22 years of corruption, torture, and brutal political repression.
Look at that. That's him. One of the biggest Pan-Africanists. He's so Pan-Africanist, he didn't want to marry a Gambian woman.
The members of the Council of African Descendants have recently enjoined our lawmakers to come up with an automatic citizenship bill to enable them become citizens of the Gambia.
Honourable Sekou Marong is in the studio with us today, and he has also been helping us with the private members bill. We recently had the transatlantic slavery symposium, homecomers symposium, which was attended by 28 honourable members, National Assembly members.
Now, you come to the issue of a citizenship that they're talking about. You look at our law. Now, we are looking at two things here. The first thing that we are looking at is that we are trying to engage the President of the Republic of the Gambia, all right, and see if there is any possibility of the President granting them a citizenship. If there's a possibility, we go for that one. But if there is no possibility in that area also, what we are looking at is that the possibility of amending the section of that, whereby at least we will come with a private member bill. But as I said, the private member bill is going to be a long process.
But it's not, in fact, a bill yet in Parliament.
Yeah.
Oh, not yet.
It's
not yet a bill in the Parliament.
Oh.
We need to talk to the citizenry.
Yeah.
That the Gambian people need to understand what these people want. This is why I told you that we are also looking at the other options from the President, because we understand that Jawara did it. Yeah, Yame did it.
Yeah.
So is it going to be a crime for President Adama Barrow also to do the same thing?
Do you understand what you're saying here? This is a crime. Do you know this? This is a crime. This man doesn't respect Gambians, doesn't respect the Gambian law, the constitution, the will of the people. He thinks two people's idea should take center stage over what the majority thinks or what the majority wants.
How hopeful can we be that the President can, of course, stamp this request that they're making?
Well, I'm very, very hopeful about this, because when we visited the President, what the President told us,
Yeah.
was very impressive.
Gambian people, I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're seeing the type of idiots and sellouts you're giving power to. This man is supposed to be a member of Parliament. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? He has to be on her payroll. But don't worry, they'll expose him.
You're going to act like you're above the law if people are reporting that you are supposedly paying off politicians. We have to follow up with that.
So today I have the honorable members with me, Honorable Solomon Saho, Honorable Abdullah Sise, and Honorable Seko Marang.
So it's a talk show. It's called For the People, by the People. They expose the corruption and the misdeeds of the government. This is a side of her that you guys don't get to see. Because this is not on her channel where she's all bubbly, you know, where she turns off the comments. No. Over here, she gets to be questioned.
My question, though, is to Sehu Marong. Mr. Marong, what we are basically saying, legislators like yourself, for political expediency, are exploiting this Pan-Africanist agenda, not to achieve some of the things that they're saying, but to win an election. What do you say to that? That you could care less about this Pan-Africanist agenda, and all you are interested in is basically exploiting it for your own political means, and what happened in 2021. What do you say to that?
Did you guys hear that? Good question. Now let's look at what this weasel is going to say.
How do you? I don't see any. That's not fact. Anyway, to be very.
Did you guys see he's stuttering? He's stuttering. He can't even answer it. He can't even answer the question straight.
Dealing with these people in order to win the election, there is nowhere, all right, in our campaign or whatsoever where you will see these people there. They are not even into any politics.
As the same way that we made our representations at the CRC, which was the Constitutional Review Commission, we made 81 submissions.
So I am now submitting 71 names. These are 71 names of people who would like to invest in the Gambia.
It's got nothing to do with politics. And that's where you're all getting it so wrong. It's a citizenship. And what we ask for is a program of integration, assimilation, and initiation, after which we'll go through the normal procedures for immigration and ask for full citizenship.
You guys are seeing this, right? What other country can you go to and talk to them this way? Literally telling them, laying the conditions, how and how they should do their citizenship, how the laws should be.
You got to put the needs of the continental Africans first. You don't come and think you could impose your own rules or your own way on top of them. No. You see what their needs are.
Yes.
And you work with them. Because they have a plan, they know what they want as well. Who are we to come here, feel we could dictate and tell them what this is, what that? No.
She is coming there, literally telling the Gambians that, no, you got it all wrong. You got it wrong. We are going to tell you how it's done.
Who are we to come here, feel we could dictate and tell them what this is, what that? No.
You guys are going to see how aggressive she becomes.
That is what we are proposing. That is what we are asking for, because 15 years is too long. The rest of what you're saying is a misnomer. And we are doing that by two things. Firstly is consultation. Yeah? Honorable Saho Marong, Suleiman Saho started a pressure group. And we went to the National Assembly. We're here outside the National Assembly here in Banjul, in the beautiful smiling coast, the Republic of the Gambia, and we have made history today. We had the first sitting with multiple MPs, honourable Member of Parliament, about us, our citizenship. Justice Jello, right? Excuse my mistake.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I went there myself to have a discussion about it. And guess what happened? Let me tell you what happened, right? All of our submissions were lost. Okay? All of our submissions were lost. Exactly. So what I have to say is this, yeah?
Ma'am, if your submissions are lost, you take it to a Gambian person, that's their way of telling you that you are silly. They are not about to present this draft to the people that matter, because those people are going to laugh at them. This is why they told you that it was lost. How convenient. I'm just giving you game to let you know. The people that are smiling with you, these people know better to come forward and tell the general population about your silly Pan-Africanist idea. It is one thing to walk around and wear those, the gab and pretend and say, I'm Gambian. They would laugh with you. But now, when you're talking about things, about laws and stuff, now you are in a completely different territory. You are name dropping the sellouts, the people that the regular people voted in. Is this what they want to spend their time on? We want to know these things. So keep name dropping. We want to know who else is in the mix.
I've spoken to Amy Bojang. I've been to see the Minister of Trade. I've seen the Minister of Tourism. I was with the Ambassador at Large for Investment, Management and Business. I've spoken to Ibrahim Basanko. I think he's the spokesman for the President. I've been to the State House. I've seen Jibril Adama. We've spoken to, who was around last night? Daba, who said that he would as well. We've been to the President's brother's naming ceremony, spoken to his family, his driver. We even interviewed his nephew from Maja. Yeah?
The issue that you are fighting about, that is automatic citizenship. Am I right? Is that the issue? Yes or no? You automatic. Okay. And you've mentioned here that you've been working with a lot of lawmakers from across the political aisle. Have they informed you of our laws in the Gambia? Because as we speak, according to this constitution, this Gambian constitution, the 1997 constitution, there are people who were born in the country who are not citizens.
People, I want you to hear this part clearly. You would find out this westernized, quote unquote, Pan-Africanists, these are the most selfish, narcissistic, wicked people. They think the world revolves around them. That victimhood mentality. This man is about to lay it out for her.
Of the Gambia, because their parents were not from the Gambia. So our constitution does not give automatic citizenship to anybody. There are processes that are in place. So I would have loved for the National Assembly member, Mr. Marong, to still be here, because it is one thing for these National Assembly members to be giving you all this thumbs up, you're doing great, you're doing that, but it is an other if they are not working towards changing the laws to make it at least right for people, because I think it is really a very, I don't see it happening, because the president by itself cannot make that declaration. It is a lawful thing, it is a constitutional matter, and unless the laws are changed, this struggle that you guys are waging will have to continue.
Okay, so are you aware of the draft report? The draft constitutional report that came out.
The draft constitution
in March 2020.
The draft that was rejected by Mr. Marong, the MP that just left, and others.
Guys, listen to this conversation closely. See, when you're faced with reality, you start being dumb. Do you not see this guy with his glasses? He's a nerd. He even pulled out the Constitution. You think he would know about the draft Constitution? That's all these people talk about. But he pointed to her that the type of Constitution, the law that she wanted, the same guy, that politician that she thinks is on her side, he is one of the people that voted against it. He's one of the people that voted against it. But Juliet, since you're so smart, how come you didn't know that? Maybe you should go check and see who voted against the draft, which would have favored you.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to take part in this very important debate that we're doing today. My vote for this draft is big no. Thank you.
So you see the looks on the Gambians' face. They are laughing at them. The car that Marong is sitting in was given to him by Blaxit. Hey, I hope that she takes the car back after this show, finding out that Marong did in fact play her. You know, he did not vote for their interest because he cannot bypass the interest of the actual Gambian people. How are you going to go explain this to the Gambian voters? Seriously.
What I'm saying here is and this is not like a debate between you and I. All I'm saying here is Mr. Marong, Majanko Samusa, and all the lawmakers that you mentioned here that you've been working with had a unique opportunity,
right,
as the only authority to have looked at that draft and changed anything that was in it, even the recommendations that were made by the CRC. If they did not agree with it, they had the sole power to change it. But they did not for political expediency. But the situation here is they have the powers to make the changes. They will not. When they wanted to change Section 91D of the Constitution, they did, without anybody's urging. So that's what I'm saying.
Now you're seeing that the MPs that you attach yourself to are in fact the people that voted against that. They are not going to do what you want them to do.
Honorable Suleiman Sao, Blaxit. Where? For the Marong, part of the family, Blaxit.
Okay.
Honorable Member of
Adrian Ryan, and a thanks for his
Honorable
support.
Lamine, I'm Member of Parliament for Cambridge. Blaxit.
Honorable Aragiso, member of Gimara.
Blaxit. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Those people voted against the draft you are talking about, because if they voted for that draft, is going to kill their political party. You think they're going to allow their party to die over your stupid interests? You do not have enough money to buy them for them to allow their political interests to permanently die.
You got to put the needs of the continental Africans first. You don't come and think you could impose your own rules or your own way on top of them now.
So the bottom line is Marong played Blaxit.
Firstly, the whole constitution is political. We don't want to get involved in discussing that. You understand? We really don't want to.
Adrian is the biggest idiot. Dude, you're asking for automatic citizenship. You guys have been talking about constitution. What do you mean you don't want to be political? Changing a constitution is political, dude. Like, what are you talking about? But you don't want to say anything against them that's going to offend them. So he wants to backpedal by saying it's not political. Everything you said here from the beginning, you're talking about drafts and all that, that is all political. All political.
And we're not apolitical, so it doesn't make any difference to us what people think. We cannot even vote. So
That's why you shouldn't be talking about the politics. She keeps saying she's not political, but when you talk about changing a segment of the Constitution, that is political, ma'am. That is political. You go in there, the president hooking up with this weasel over here, that is all political. She knows exactly what she's doing.
Sometimes it can be very convenient for African dictators oppressing their people, misappropriating our funds, mismanaging the economy. And I'm not saying that's what Adama Barrow is doing. and at the same time appeasing to the issues like Pan-Africanism, and we are all Africans. But do you think injecting yourself into the internal politics, it's the way to go?
Not about being partisan or injecting myself in politics. We had 28 National Assembly members come to our...
Julius, can I come in there?
Ma'am, do you understand that? Do you understand what you're saying here? This is a crime. Do you know this? This is a crime. The moment you try to change one's constitution and you're not there, from that point on, you've become an enemy combatant. But you're saying that is not political. That's crazy. Colonialist in blackface. The only difference is she's not like the white Europeans who came and strong-armed the people with guns. This woman is not a citizen of that country. She went there on her own free will. The country already have their constitution voted in by the people. So she's trying to topple the constitution of that country. She's a foreigner in a country talking about she is drafting their idea of what should be added to that constitution to bastardize the constitution. When you do a coup in a country with a gun, that's what they do. The military, that's what they would do. The constitution is what is suspended. They change it. You cannot change a country's constitution just by yourself.
If you are watching this and if you are part of the Gambian government, I implore you to cut all communication off with Blaxit. She is a person who is on the way out. Please don't allow her to drag you down with her. Please, I implore you, please do not do any dealings with this woman. And to any other people of any other African nation, please know who you are dealing with. You are not dealing with the best of us.